Hello. Sorry, before I start, I have just been ill, so if I'm coughing out, I'm getting over a cold. So today I thought I'd do a live of Get Ready With Me, and I'm predominantly using this palette. It's the Naked Honey palette, and it's honest to god one of my favourite palettes. Like, look at these colours. It's the most delicious kind of gold pigment. So yeah, that is what I'm predominantly using today. I've been using the Naked 3 palette a lot recently as well, but I thought I'd mix it up and do a gold look because I haven't really worn it in a while. I've been mostly wearing like soft pinks and stuff. So starting off priming my eyes with this NYX Ultimate Primer. So when I'm doing makeup, I always prefer to do my eyes first, then do like foundation, and kind of go back to my eyes afterwards, like do the under eye. So just wait for that to dry a bit. It's very tacky as right now. There's my brush. I think I actually put a bit too much of that base on. Oh well, we move. Right, so starting off, I'm going to be using this colour here to set the base, which is called Flyby. And that's very close to my skin tone, so I'm just going to put that all over. It has got a nice shimmer to it. So today's eyeshadow shape that I'm going to do, if you follow me on anything else, you could have seen how I did yesterday, but with a pink palette. We're going to go for like gold in the middle, and we're going to do shading at this side and this side, a little bit similar to did Kylie Jenner wear it last year or something for an event, you know, where it was kind of nude in the middle and black in the corners and the outer. It's that kind of thing. It was a eyeshadow shape that I was wearing a lot in like 2019, 2020. I was like low-key obsessed with it. So just putting a fair amount of that on. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the middle section first. When I found my brush. There. Okay, so in the middle I want it to like really pop. So I'm going to use the shade Honey, which is like the goldest gold. And that is just going to go literally all in this middle section here. I absolutely love it. Like, I'm not sure if it's showing on camera like enough, but it is the most gorgeous gold in real life. It's like so bright. So you want to kind of keep this colour as like, you know, in line with the iris, pupils, all, you know, the whole middle of the eye kind of thing. So I am gently like blending it out a little, but predominantly focusing it in the centre. Hello to everyone joining, hope you're having a good day. Just put a bit more on the left eye. Oh, I just felt that fall out there. Okay, so this is how we're starting off, which kind of looks a little crazy, but when I get all the other colours on, hopefully you're going to love it as much as I do. So next, the MAC 217 Iconic brush. So I'm going to start off with Swarm, which is this colour here. So I'm going to use matte shades predominantly for the surrounding of the eyes. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, basically this side and this side. So it's good to build up from lighter colours to darker in this case. Sorry, I'm still recovering from a cold, so we'll have a little bit of a croaky voice. So I'm making sure it's really quite light around the edges here. This is a lot more saturated in real life than it is on my camera. I have adjusted the lighting, but it's still looking a bit too bright. And then we're also putting it at this side here. It's definitely a very kind of different way of wearing eyeshadow, like when the whole look is done. Usually when I make a TikTok video as well, I like do a bit and I stop it and then, you know, carry on and do the next bit, and I just had to really overcome stopping the video right then. It's very different doing a live video to like a pre-recorded one. So I am gently blending it into the gold pigment, but not so it like overbears it. I just realised I've used the wrong colour. I used the next darkest colour then. Oh, it's fine, because we're going to be darkening it anyway. Sometimes if I talk about stuff, I get distracted and do it wrong, like I just did. So I don't know if you can tell that this one is slightly darker than this one, but yeah, I basically went in with like Keeper, which is this shade here, instead of Swarm to start with, so I'm going to add Keeper now to this eye. So it is following like the natural shadows of the eye socket, so like, don't know if you can sort of tell, but like there is a natural shadow here and there's a natural shadow here, so those are what's going to be intensified in this look today. In the look I did yesterday, I did it with like pale pinks, and then in the Naked 3 palette, I'll just show you because I have actually got it here. Oh gosh, hang on. Forget they have mirrors in. So yesterday's makeup, I used like the pale pinks in the centre and then this black shade here because I've been like really itching to use it and I haven't used it yet because I thought it was like a really dark pink because it's got dark pink glitter in, but actually it's pretty much a pure black. So yeah, it really works really well, and it was kind of like a pastel goth kind of look, and I really liked it, and I used a pink and brown wig with it as well. That's starting to take shape in depth. It's a bit frustrating that it's not as true to real life as it is on the camera. Apologies for not having anything like music playing in the background, but I am still new to doing live setups, so haven't really worked out what's, you know, best for it or anything like that. Okay, so you can see how it's starting to take shape, yeah? We've got the highlight in the middle, and then we're following natural shades of the eye socket. So, next one I'm going to use is Drip, which is a fairly light, it's like a medium brown kind of shade. And again, we're just literally deepening and darkening the natural socket. And I will be using Sting, which is the darkest colour as well. I love this palette as well because it's just so complementary to so many skin tones and eye colours. Like, I don't think you can really go wrong with like gold and gold tones. Hello everyone joining, hope you're all well. I'm just still getting over a cold, so apologies for any kind of croaky voice or having to clear my throat. I've been ill for about a month actually, it's been really frustrating. Again, it's not kind of as true to real life, but you can really get where I'm going with it now. I'm adding the darker colours. Again, put it in the wrong colour, let me know. So I am purposely keeping like the inner corners clear for now as well, because I'm gonna add like quite an extreme highlight there as well. I've got a highlighter palette that's like white and gold, so I'm gonna put that there. Also, I have a hooded eyes, so this is why I'm doing my eyeshadow as in just like looking down. It's the biggest pro tip I can give if you have hooded eyes, because it gets lost, but also if you like shut in one eye you can like really crease it and then your eyeshadow doesn't come out as smooth as it should. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just gonna take a smaller shaded brush, so one like this, and with the drip colour again, I'm just gonna very carefully put it here on the eyelid and in the corner. So that kind of looks like it's in one straight line, but when I open my eye it just kind of adds to the overall depth and stuff. Even. How's if I can speak properly? Sorry, I was just trying to read that. Don't know if anyone else is like dyslexic, but I find that sometimes when, you know, like doing live stuff, if there's a chat going on or if it's a notification of like someone's joined or something, it takes me a second to kind of like read what's going on. Especially if it's like a comment or something. My reading speed is so slow. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that. Now I'm going to use Sting, which is this darkest brown here. And it's fairly dark. Again, it's kind of like getting a bit bleached out with the lighting on camera. So taking it very lightly, and I am just like building up all the colours on my brush as well. I'm going to start putting it into the areas where it's like a deeper shadow. Apparently as well, if you get this palette on TikTok shop, it's got free shipping, which is great. There may be some discounts, but I think that like depends person to person, so can't really say there's like X amount or whatever, but yeah, apparently free shipping, and I think it's definitely worth it. Like I've said already, it's one of my favourite palettes for sure. So yeah, this area of the eye may be something that people are either very unfamiliar or have never tried to like put a much darker colour. Again, it is actually a lot deeper and darker in real life, but you can kind of see how it is. It's almost like if you're drawing, like you're shading the eye and making it look realistic. That's the kind of effect that it has, I think. And I think it's also fun to try the shape out with many different colours. But it is actually like the really dark colours that kind of make it pop. I am kind of blending it into the eyebrow as well. I typically do my eyebrows a bit later on, I don't start with it. To me it always seemed kind of odd starting with eyebrows first. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. But you know, like carving them out and stuff, that was, I don't know, it's just my way of working. Never do that. Originally I was going to do this on YouTube, but then when I went to my YouTube channel it said that I had to like activate my account for live stream, so I was like, oh okay then, TikTok it is. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. I am going to add a bit of the shade Amber, which is another one of the glittery shades, just kind of on the border here. As in between the really gold shade and then into the matte shadows. I think one of my favourite things about this palette is like all of the shades that there are, they blend so seamlessly and it's great for like transitional looks. It's not as a case of you kind of going like from one extreme to the other trying to blend it out. Like you can very easily just use another one of the colours that's in the palette to really make that blend very seamless. Okay, and I'm just going to use a little bit more of the shade Flyby, which was the initial shade, to just put it a little here where the eyebrow highlight is coming through. Probably add another highlighter there in a bit. So checking for fallout. Okay, that seems right. So now I've done the top part of my eye, I'm going to put I mean, I've already got like moisturiser stuff on. It's actually like a bio oil gel, so I do look a little bit greasy, and that's probably adding to all the shine right now. Yeah, so plump right back, NYX primer. This has been my go-to one because I've got dry skin and it's just, it's quite hydrating and it goes really well under the water-based foundation that I've got. The reason that I do my eyes first is, like, I was just checking for fallout then. Oftentimes you can get a lot of fallout and it's just so much easier to wipe your face than it is to have like foundation on and risk ruining what you may have already done. So yeah, I always work like eyes first, especially because I'm usually doing something quite eye intense. It's actually quite rare that I don't wear eye makeup. Okay, so I'm going to use the Born to Glow foundation. I like this because it's really affordable and also it's just a really nice coverage for what I want. I will say this is the wrong shade and I know that because the security tag covered the number and when I was in the store it looked as though that was the right one that I needed. I just got on there on my finger. Ew. I need to find, where's the little spatula? Spatula. Where's that gone? These are all my brushes, but well, they're not all my brushes, this is one particular set of brushes, but it's very easy to lose a tiny little metal spatula in here. Oh, this one here. Okay, got it. It was hiding. So I really like to apply it with a spatula like this. Just get it on and spread it out, because then you're not wasting as much product, either getting it in the brush or a sponge, like, you know, whichever your chosen tool is. I typically like using a brush, especially like this kind of brush. It's actually a Smashbox Cream Cheek brush because they didn't have the foundation one when I bought it in the store. So literally just plastering it on my face. But there's very little wastage, which I enjoy. And I definitely got this from watching like a Korean ASMR beauty channel. Initially I was like, that's a really weird method, but when I tried it I was like, no, actually that's actually great. So yeah, literally just putting it all over, and oh, I always forget here. So yeah, this is the point if anyone's just joined. Hello, I'm just applying foundation. This can look incredibly strange if it's like out of context. Right, so I'm just gonna put a bit of the matte setting spray, just hydrate my brush a little, and then start blending in. I think this is one of my favourite foundations. I was a little unsure of it to start with, but that was just because I was so used to using a really, really full coverage foundation. And this one's kind of like medium, but you can build it up. You see that glow? Like literally born to glow. That is correct. So I'm going right up to my eye. If I don't talk for a sec, it's just because I'm concentrating. I'm going up to the hairline but trying not to get it in my hair. And as close to right up to my eye as possible. So I do have some blemishes, but I'll use a bit of concealer on that. But for like a really natural kind of foundation, I really love this. And it is better when it is actually the right colour for me, but I guess this is like slightly healthy tan. I think I'm looking extra glowy because of the like skincare I put on. It was more of an oil base, so yeah, looking a little greasy right now, but it's fine. I've got a powder that I'm going to use, which is my favourite powder ever. Okay, that'll do. I've got like these red patches on my nose, and that's because I wear glasses and I'm like pretty badly short-sighted, and the weight of my glasses just like, can you see here, there's like dents in my nose. Those are like permanent in my bone structure now. Right, so concealer brush, where have you gone? So I'm going to use this concealer palette. It's a Barry M one, it's in light medium. So I'm going to use this pink one here in the bottom. Can you see? Right, so this pink one here, I'm going to use it just under my eyes to cover up the blue. I have put product there and I'm going to be putting eyeshadow there as well, but it still helps take the colour out. And then this one up here, which is a yellow, that's going to go over the blemishes because that will take the redness down there. I think a lot of people think, oh, I've got spots, I need a green concealer. That's only if it's something like really extreme, like rosacea. You can get away with just like a yellow tone one like very easily. So I'm going to start off with under the eye. So I'm going to put in the concealer here. I'm not, you know, really going boom, all this concealer over there like you see a lot of people do. Just really concentrating it on the bluest part of under my eye and blending it out. I stuck a piece of paper on the back of this mirror because it was just reflecting everything all the time and that was just like really awkward. So I'm going up to this part here, which is quite blue as well. So just very lightly working under the eye. It's an area that you don't really want to overload a lot of product. So it just kind of brightens it up a little. I talked about it, but I didn't get the yellow one out of the container. I always scrape it out because it's more hygienic. If you're going into palettes like with brushes, you can put a lot of bacteria into it and then your product won't last as long, and it'll, I mean, you could even give yourself more skin problems by doing that as well. So just gonna use the yellow one, very lightly tapping it on this area. Always seems to be this side of my face that I get spots, so I think I must like sleep on that side more. And this one is quite a, I mean, I can hide the colour of it, but I can't really hide the texture of that. So. But I'm not really bothered. Just put a bit around my nose as well, because this is usually a red area, but also just making sure it's all covering the pores. My nose is also like a problem area, as in getting the product to stay, so try and make sure that I do exfoliate, but also I'm very careful with how I apply products onto it because it will rub off very fast. And also that's why I like using water-based foundations as well and talc-free products, because it actually stays on my nose. It doesn't like fall off, which is super annoying. So before I powder everything, I'm gonna use a cream contour. You want to do all your cream products first and then all your powder products after, because let's say it's like wet and dry. So this is like wet right now, yeah? And you want all the wet things, so like creams and whatever, to blend in seamlessly. If I powder it now and then put a cream on, there's a high chance that it's gonna like go really cakey. So all the cream products first, then with face powder, and then you can put powder, blush, contour and everything, highlighter on top when it's like being powdered, because that's like your dry products. That's the easiest way I could probably explain that. That's my contour stick. So I'm using the NYX Wonder Stick. The highlighter end is very broken, as you can see. Yikes. But yeah, this is I think it's light. It is a very warm tone. It is quite orange, but it's fine. Does anyone actually care at the end of the day? So I'm actually going to use like an angle eyeshadow brush for it. And this time I am going to apply it directly onto my face. So as you can see, there's like a shadow here. That's where I'm going to put it. I'm not using too much because it does blend out quite a lot, especially on like the kind of base that I've got going on here. So again, there's like a shadow there. On the temples, this is just defining bone structure. I once described contouring as like doing Halloween skull makeup, but as like a non-Halloween context is in a pretty makeup sense. And then it turned out that the person I was explaining it to has never done that kind of Halloween makeup, so I was like, oh well, this is awkward. So I do have a rather large forehead, so I'm going to put it up here and blend it out, and then also go back with my foundation brush and just really blend it in. And nose contour, you can see there's quite an easy shadow to follow here, and I've messed that up. Hang on. Looking at the phone and not my mirror. I think nose contouring is one of the trickiest, just for getting it in the right place, really. I'm sure you've seen the contour videos of, you know, people doing like a wavy nose and stuff, so hopefully it's not going to end up like that, but... That's a bit... Okay. Sorry, I'm over... Hang on, I need a sip of water. So for contouring like your own face, it's alright doing like, you know, how to contour whatever, but like, firstly, look in the mirror and like feel your face, like feel where your cheekbones are, you know, like the higher points of the bone structure, and feel where the hollows are. I'm not going to poke my face because I've got foundation on, but if I didn't, it would be a case of like, so here's my cheekbone, and then under here like I can push in and I can feel like the hollow, and then it'd be like, that's where your teeth are. Also, like, play with lights, so let me just turn one off. Okay, so you can see there's a shadow here. You can see with the shadow as you move around, you can see like, you know, where the shadows are falling on my skull. A way of doing it is just like get your phone torch in front of a mirror and play around, like move it around and stuff, and see where the shadows lie. And that's probably one of the best ways of finding out how to contour your own face, because yeah, it's your face, like not everyone's face is similar. Yeah, okay, there's like oval shapes, heart shapes and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, your face is your face, if you know what I mean. So, okay, I've directly applied that, so it should have heated up a little now to blend out. And I'm just going to use little small circular motions. Sorry about my voice, it's really getting croaky. And that very easily blended out. And I do kind of go up with it as well. But I'm going to use my foundation brush and blend it in further afterwards. So I do kind of make sure I take this to about here, because I have that like forehead room. I am gonna like let my hair down after, but let me just get the white on the screen so this is where it's like blended in, and this is to blend. I do quite like using like a very small brush for this, just because I found that it was more detailed. I'm gonna say detailed, that's the wrong word, but I hope you get what I mean. Easier to define, is that the right phrase? I'm really bad with words. I try my best to explain things, and then I'm just like, that made no freaking sense, like, at all. Shouldn't talk while I'm doing that. So, there we go. This side of my face as well, having the texture on it, it always kind of looks a bit more like, I guess, dirt sometimes, compared to that side of my face, which like doesn't have any kind of texture. See what I mean? So usually I would use a cream blush after, but I have no idea where I put it. It's a Stila one and it's my favourite, and it's just this really, well, it's the shade Lilium. I think it's Lilium or Lilium, one of them. And it's a really nice natural blush on me and I adore it, and I'm very sad that I don't know where I put it. So just blending that in on the nose. I don't overly contour my nose, it's just like that little bit of definition that kind of brings it together in the middle, if you know what I mean. And again, with me talking about the nose bumps earlier, have to be conscious of that because I can really end up defining those nose bumps from my glasses when I don't want to be doing that. So yeah, if you are very short-sighted like me and have heavy glasses, just be aware of, you could bring way more emphasis to like this area of your nose without meaning to do that. So I'm gonna like blend it up into this part of the eyebrow as well. So there we go. Contouring is done. Let me just like get that white bit on so we can actually see. So since I look like an absolute greasy mess, I'm gonna now powder it down with, it's already open, hang on a sec. The HD Studio Photogenic. Yeah, that's correct. This is just like a pure silica powder. There's no talc in it and anything like that. It is just literally pure silica. Like, it's incredibly fine. So I do advise using it sparingly and also just like being careful. Sorry, I just like grabbed a hair extension by accident then. Yeah, being careful with it because the powder just can go and like you can easily inhale it and that's not pleasant. So just gonna get a bit of that. Right, let's do it like half by half so you can see how much it's gonna take down this like shiny greasiness. This is my favourite powder as well because like typically work in quite a few horror films and I used it on set last year, and I'm not joking, I had to retouch like barely anyone's makeup. It was just predominantly lipstick at lunchtime because the face makeup did not move when I had put this on. Okay, so this side is not set. Can you see how shiny that is? This side is set. And I used like F-all powder. In fact, it was that much powder. That's not a lot at all. And it has completely, well, almost completely mattified that down. That's how it was. And that's how it is now. And that's great to like continue with powder products over the top. So I'm just going to set that. This side. I do like to use a small eyeshadow brush as well for doing under my eyes and, you know, around my nose and stuff, just because sometimes those areas are easily missed with a big brush like this. What's this alien thing about that keeps coming up? I just keep seeing it every now and then, just like aliens, like what? Really not up to speed with the whole like live gift thing, so yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. And yeah, so using a brush like this, now we're gonna get into the powder and do under the eyes here. And I kind of like go like that to do it because then I'm not getting it in my eye, but also it's kind of like stretching out that skin a little to, you know, as opposed to doing that, like you're not properly getting it in everywhere. So let's just make sure everything on the nose is set. Okay, sweet. So I'm gonna go back to my Naked Honey palette now and do the under eyes, and just gonna You want to make sure you like really tap off your brushes and everything when you do this, because you don't want it to like drip down your face, but because I have like powdered and set my face, it is easier to wipe off. I don't typically bake my under eyes, I just vibe basically. Which brush do I need? Hold on. Let me just give that one a clean, because there's always one brush that I forget to clean. So I use 99% isopropyl alcohol to clean everything, because that kills bacteria and it dries super quick. So literally just clean it right now and that's dry already. Other brush cleaners, they take a little longer to dry and they typically have other stuff in them, but yeah, as working as a professional, this is the stuff that is great. Sending love and positive energy, keep smiling. Thank you, that's such a lovely message. Hope you have a really great day as well. It takes me a while to like catch up with chat, if there is any chat. There's a lot of like invite people to go live together, but honestly I'm not sure about that whole thing, so I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, thank you for that lovely message, that was really nice, thank you. Right, so I did want to explain this to someone, like, what was it, dividing fractions or something. What I do to the top, I do to the bottom. So you can see where all the colours are, so like we've got the real gold in the middle, we've got shadows either side. I'm going to do that under the eye as well. So I'm going to start off with, okay, I'm going to start off with the colour Sweet, actually. This is like more of a transitional blending shade, so that is this colour here. I'm just going to sweep that under the eye first. And we're going to like join up to what's going on in the upper eye. Transitional shades are definitely one of the keys to blending. Like, if you're unfamiliar with blending eyeshadow and stuff, having more eyeshadow colours to like work with is actually really beneficial. And also if you're like not that familiar with colour theory, for example, that can also really help you by actually having like all the shades you need instead of just say like primary colours. I did do a video on my YouTube channel making a full rainbow out of 3 colours, so check that out, that's Makeup with India as well. Okay, so gonna use Keeper first, which is, you know, the matte gold here, and we're gonna start off at the edge. So again, we're keeping all the like highlights, so shimmer shades in line with the iris, but around that we're putting darker colours. I'm putting it either side of like where my iris is. Kind of bringing it a little bit to a point there. Tapping off as well, just because don't want fallout, but it's just easier to control, you know, like less is more. It's easier to build it up than going like bang straight in and putting it on your eye. Apologies if anyone is like, oh my god, she's doing the blue eyes there. It really helps for this, okay? I'm like super conscious of that now. As in like, I'm staring when I'm not, I'm just existing. Okay, so that's with the first colour. Now I'm going to use Drip, which is like the medium brown. That one. Gonna just darken that lash line. I just realised I said I was gonna like use my foundation brush to blend the contour in a bit more, and I didn't do that. Sometimes I have like the intent to do it and I just literally forget. But I think it was also because I kind of looked at it and went, oh, actually it's not that bad. So again, just kind of going into the inner corner. Like, this is a really tiny fluffy brush. It's an eye detailer. I'll probably crack out the nail brush in a second though. Yes, I use nail art brushes in my makeup kit as well. And I think there was something like, they were either 99p or 1.99 from like Home Bargains, so you can really get away with having like cheap stuff in your kit. So that's how that's looking, and then finally Sting, which is that dark brown. I very rarely use eyeliner, mostly because I've got hooded eyes, but I really prefer like the soft smokiness of like what eyeshadow does. So I'm keeping that as like close to the lash line as possible, really. I'm not letting that blend too far down. So that's really kind of staying in that like triangle edge. And you can see how hooded my eye is here. So it's like just this bit here and joining it up. This is why like winged eyeliner doesn't really work on me. So there's the little nail art brush. Where have you gone? Again, it's that. Found it. It was like lost in the powder brush. Sorry for the exposure changing, that's kind of terrifying. Right, so this is teeny tiny. It's literally for nails. And I use it for like eyeliner and stuff. So just gonna dip it in Sting again, the darkest brown. Tap off any excess. I'm gonna keep it really near the lash line. Concentration intensified then. Don't know if you noticed. So that's how that's looking. Just thought I should check the time because I do need to go out today. They even. Yeah, there is even as they. Whatever. Another like pro tip is like, as much as I am a perfectionist, just have the view of like, okay, who actually cares? As in, you know, if you're doing eyeliner, sorry if it wobbles, I'd probably just kick the table then. Like if it isn't perfectly symmetrical or something like that, like who's actually going to be that close to you and notice it? If, yeah, who notices half the time? Pretty much no one, so just vibe, you got this, honestly. Where's a fluffy brush? Okay, so I've got a clean, blendy, fluffy brush. And I'm just going to dab lightly into the swarm colour, which is like the pale yellow. And that's just to kind of get around the edge, just make sure that is really nicely blended out. Because I don't want any harsh lines. Or at least in this area. This part I do want a harsh line. That's why my contact lens is weird. Hang on, where's my white piece of paper gone? There we go. If I hold up the white, you can see it a lot better. It's very softly blended out. Another blending tip, make sure you have like at least 2 blending brushes, so like you've got a clean one and you can just like, even with nothing on the product, just blend it out like that. So I used a little bit of product because I did want to like feather it down a little more, but if you use something that's like neutral to your skin tone or just like plain super clean brush, like that will help so much with like blending out edges of things, especially if it's like up in this area. How have I just got hair in my eye? Right. So now I'm gonna go back to like face stuff, and like I'm not even joking, like eyebrows is one of the last things I think about, so if you're wondering what I'm doing with that, I'm just gonna put some mascara through it. Actually, you know what, I'll do it now since I've mentioned it, because again, it's one of those things that I kind of like forget about. So I'm just using an old brown mascara with Hype NYX one. This is like nearly empty, and that's why I've been using it on my eyebrows, because I haven't got like a little eyebrow mascara gel thing. So this is also an eye look I used to do when I had no eyebrows at all. So like I did a master's degree a couple of years ago, and I literally like shaved my eyebrows off for it, because there was just so much more room for activities. I could really explore with makeup and, you know, take it a lot higher and around the eye. It wasn't just constrained to like where the eyebrow was, and also it helped so much for the drag looks I was doing, because I really don't like gluing down my eyebrows. So yeah, it's gonna be very kind of natural, as you can see. I'm gonna use black mascara on my lashes, but this is an eyeshadow palette that I do use like a brown mascara with quite a lot. I am debating, should I put false lashes on or not? What do you think? Do you want to see some falsies with it or not? Let me know, please. I'm just gonna brush it. I find that my left eyebrow is like balder. Does that make sense? There's just not as much there as the right eyebrow. Is it just the lighting? I'm not sure. So yeah, that's fairly natural kind of fluffy brow, which I think is pretty decent for this look. Yeah, so I'll do mascara and possibly lashes last. I'm debating, do I want them, do I not, I don't know, but if you want to see them, let me know. Right, so for cheeks, I'm gonna use this Revolution palette. Let me open it so we're not getting like shiny. Yeah, so this is Golden Sugar, and I think that's the first time I've actually read what this palette's called. I just kind of like look at it and go, oh, it's that one. Yeah, so I'm gonna use this colour, I think, for the blush, and if it's not the kind of colour I want, then I'm gonna go into this blush palette can... Oof. Yeah, that one's broken. I didn't realise. That is Hot Spice, that one. So I am going to just use my powder brush because I actually don't know what I did with the blusher brush. So I'm going to use this colour here. Just going to like tap it off on my arm, so... If you smile, you can see where the apples of your cheeks are. Let me just get that back so we can actually see if there's any colour going on. It's a little bit oranger, if anything. It looks like it's sun-kissed. So I think I will go into the other palette, but to make sure it's even on both sides, I'll put it on this one too. I'm not going to use any like powder contour. That's coming through a little bit pinker now. Don't be afraid of pulling weird faces when you do makeup, because like half the time it actually helps. Actually, I'm quite happy with that colour. I'm not going to use the other one. It was just initially, maybe I didn't use enough. So I'm just like catching it on the cheekbones and sweeping it up. And then we'll get to the highlight bit in a sec, which I think is always really fun because it's like, don't know if anyone paints, but you know, when you put those little highlights in, it really makes it pop. So for that, I'm gonna use this fluffy brush. Again, like little ones, I like to use a little brush for like highlighty things. So I'm gonna use this highlighter here, which is like white and gold. Oh, my eyes! I forgot the gold. Didn't I say I forget things? Just proved it right. Okay, so again with I'm gonna use honey, which is like the brightest freaking gold. It's not even on the brush. Okay, and that is going here. Okay, I need to like look forward. Sorry for the blue eyes there. It's just a lot easier to do with this kind of makeup thing that I'm doing right now. So I'm just concentrating that like where the iris is. And mirroring what I've done on like the upper lid. Spread that out a little much, but oh well. Again, does anyone care? Do they? Nah. They got their own shit to worry about. Okay, so back to highlighting. Yeah, this little fluffy brush into the like white gold. Like pure white highlighters work very well on me because I'm very pale. So like contouring, you want to like look at where the highlights are on the bone structure. So like see here, here, there, nose, you know. It's where the light catches for a highlight. So let's make that pop. That do be popping now. See? Difference? I'm just keeping the little white bit on my mirror there for now, just because it's showing the colours more accurately. Ooh. So let's put some down the nose. I do like to do, you know, like NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk. I do like using that on my nose, and that came from doing like alt TikTok emo kind of makeup, like contouring my nose to that degree. I did actually end up like really liking it. So I'm just gonna like flick it here as well on the cupid's bow. They're just kind of left over for this area because we don't really want to like have a mad forehead highlight. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm dyslexic in speech as well. And I'm just going to use like, you know, the really angled tip there. And get some of that. Put it here. So that's going like right at the very edge of that makeup where the eyebrow is. And then also I'm going to use a little brush and put it there on the inner corner. Actually I'm going to use this pencil brush. I've got a smaller version somewhere, but that's in another pack of brushes. I've got literally like over 100 brushes, so excuse me being lazy not wanting to find it. Can you see that? I won't lie, this is looking a lot more highlighted in real life. Very shiny. There we go, that's really popping now, isn't it? I do feel like this is a real kind of like leftover from the emo days. I've got a TikTok video on how I used to do my emo makeup, and a lot of people were relating to this was like the last glimmer hope of life kind of thing, that inner corner highlight that we always used to do. But I still think it works for like a lot of different makeups. So there we go, that's all that done. So now I'm going to add some black mascara. And the one I'm using is actually from Primark and it's £1. And yeah, it's actually a decent mascara. So if you're wherever a Primark is available, actually check that out. I tried a load of Primark products over on my YouTube channel and this was one of the best ones that I actually tried. Again, mascara tip, look down so you don't have to go. Because like, I don't know, I mean it's kind of funny that like fish face people pull, but if you just look down you can get to your eyelashes like really easy. I don't typically bother with curling them. We've blobbed. Hang on. Hang on. Getting a Q-tip, one sec. Just reaching. Come here. There you go. Nailed it. So even though this says it's like amplified mascara, I don't really think it does much in terms of amplifying it. It's quite a thin coat. But it's still very pleasant to wear, especially if you like wear contact lenses as well. This is going to sound like wildly off topic, but has anyone ever had Sprite jelly before? Because that's something my friend was talking to me about last night, and when I go out later I am actually going to get some Sprite and jelly and try it, because I was just confused. Like I never thought of putting a fizzy drink in jelly. Apparently it's fizzy, like the jelly is fizzy, so oh, shit, that's up. Caught it again. Pro tip, don't talk when you're doing mascara. It's a little bit of a blob, but again, who cares? It's fine. Straight up just got that on my contact lens. Protects my cornea, but that's still grim. Okay, now for bottom lashes. I'm totally holding my head at like the wrong angle because I'm getting it down there. One sec, I'm just gonna have to like, probably not great for viewing experience, but it saves me getting it everywhere. Still got it under my eye. I thought I just got like mascara like on my eyeball then, but it was just the shadow of my eyelash. I was literally about to kind of like freak out and be like, oh my god, what have I done? So what's left? Lips on left. I've really been enjoying lip gloss recently, which typically I never used to wear just because I didn't like the feel of it, you know what I mean, because it's quite goopy, I guess. Honestly, the exposure of this is really annoying. So since we're using gold, I have got a plumping lip gloss, but I don't like it. It feels like I can't move my mouth properly. So I'm going to use this e.l.f. lip lacquer, which is like a goldy colour. I guess I could use like a neutral kind of brown lipstick, but yeah, I'm going to use a gloss. I think one of the last times I wore this eyeshadow I used, is it Strip Down, that MAC liner? And yeah, that looks really good with this kind of eyeshadow colour. Again, if you want to buy the product off TikTok shop, as in the honey palette, it does have free shipping, so check it out. I really like this applicator. It's like, it's quite flat, but it feels good, you know what I mean? So there you go, that is the finished look. I will do my hair after I've done like wrapping up the live, because who could be bothered watching me do hair, honestly. Yeah, so that is it. Today's, if I could not kick anything, that would be great. Today's look with the Naked Honey palette is a bit different of a eye look, I think. Yeah, check it out. Let me just get the white thing in. There we go, we can really see the colours. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this live. If you did, give us a follow, that's severely appreciated. Check out all other social media stuff, it's just Makeup with Indie. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I don't really use Twitter, but yeah, I've got quite a few YouTube videos up. and on Instagram as well. I'm starting to do that, you know, the little infographic things. And if anyone has any just comments, reviews, anything like that, it's all appreciated as well. So yeah, I hope you have a great day, whatever you're doing and whatever. And yeah, I need to go now. So bye, thanks for joining. It will stop. There you go.